Good afternoon and happy Monday. It's your man Greg of Greg and Malcolm on Monday midday. Now we're I feel like we're a thing. We're a thing. That's great.
Yeah, we
And
actually had an intro today.
who did that? I like
I
it.
did,
Yay! Well, that right there, the guy with the great afro and the great glasses, he is Malcolm of Greg and Malcolm. And I'm your host, Gregory Drayton, and it's Malcolm Travers, the founder of M3. I always have to give you your flowers every time I
yeah,
say it. The founder and creator of M3 himself. He brings us all this wonderful platform. And I want to say thank you on behalf of America because it is wonderful and growing. Good Lord, I saw you
yeah.
Saturday and I was like, whoa, thank you all. And again, if you would like to join us on YouTube at www.youtube.com/Male Media Mind. Are we on what, Facebook?
Everything except Instagram and TikTok.
Oh, so if you're on the TikToky and all that stuff, no, thank you.
Yeah,
So
Swag will do the TikTok. I'll do the Instagram sometimes.
oh yeah, so that on our other shows, but we will round up those shows at the end of this one. And if you would, while you're out there exploring us, please join us on Patreon, become a paid member and a VIP member. And join us, you have exclusive access to content. And we all do other podcasts on our own,
Yeah.
so you get access to that. And join us on Patreon. So welcome.
Yes.
I am vacation tired.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your trip.
Oh, my vacation? Oh, super dope. I went to St. Martin and St. Bart, which is a rich person's vacation. Like a burger and fries was every bit of $35. Really is. But
It's a
the
very White Lotus.
very White Lotus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was starting to sound like Jennifer Coolidge. I want a hot dog real bad, right? Yeah, real bad. I told you today I'm going to be silly, so
Yeah.
because I'm tired. But so no, it was really good. It's tropical. It's in the West Indies. It's St. Martin is a 45-minute ferry ride. I mean, St. Bart is a 45-minute ferry ride from St. Martin. So generally, what people do is they fly into St. Martin and go over to St. Bart's. So St. Bart's is where you see Beyonce and Jay-Z and Miley Cyrus and everybody vacationing. They park their yachts in the bay. But it's French. It's French. Yeah. So yeah, they had to go through customs again because they're French. So I have all these stamps on my passport. I feel special. Like no, and
yeah, we were kind of talking about that. Yeah.
What stamps on your passport?
Yeah. So that is the most common bucket list thing. Like when people say where things you want to do before you die, the most common thing is to travel. You know. I don't know if that's necessarily bad thing.
Listen. So I hate to be a dick. So my profession, before I retired, I've been to over 30 countries. So it's kind of hard, people like, oh, it's beautiful. I'm impressed. It's beautiful. It's really hard because everybody was like, because Anguilla is near there, and so everybody was like, oh, let's go to Anguilla. I'm like, no. Yeah, because I had really, because I went to Anguilla for work, it was terrible. And I know, like, bitch, that was 10 years ago. Like, get over
it.
Right,
yeah.
But no, so you kind of go from there. But it was just beautiful. And so honestly, I'll tell you, America, the best thing that I like the most is we stayed in a wonderful all-inclusive. And it's wonderful. You just walk up to the bar, you can drink what you want, you can eat what you want. But you cannot have company. So like I did not know this. So like we had other friends that stayed at other places. And so they would try to visit all of us in our inclusive. And you cannot. They're like, oh no, nigga, no, back up, because you gotta bring the no. You can't.
When you mean all inclusive, that means that they actually include the price of food in your
Yeah,
So,
the price of food, the price of liquor as well.
so
And
it totally makes sense. Yeah, like you not about to have guests. Um, I'll tell you one thing. It was funny that some of these resorts are so lavish that there will be people on the perimeter of the resort getting shit from other people. I've seen this before where
really,
yeah, like that exact same thing where oh, I'm staying at the Best Western. let me let me stay out here on the beach, just off the shore of the resort, and you can bring me free shit.
so
That's
the good so y'all, I'm point black. Don't think I did anything special. So I had a suite with a swimming pool in the room. It was fantastic. So it was just great. And then the pool
yeah,
to the ocean. So it was just
yeah,
I was like, ooh. But and it was just really but the thing, of course, because I am a podcaster and I always think I'm at work on the three, I'm beginning to talk to the people that work there.
yeah,
And they, those are really good jobs for them.
yeah. That's true.
It's like, you know, oh, my mother fishes for a living, and she's a seamstress, but I'm a manager at this U.S. or European owned hotel, and I am making dough, and they are really, really nice. Hey, Brandon, and they were really nice.
Yeah,
It was just everybody was really good, but of course, the airline industry is going to shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's one of those things that we flew the Big D. They're gonna give them a commercial, but we flew the
Yeah.
Big D, and so um we flew out of Atlanta. That's where I'm based. Um, so we get there on time, and the Big D says, "Oh, well, your flight is 3 hours delayed." So luckily, I get the privilege to be able to go to the Delta Lounge. And 10 minutes after I get my food and my drink, they says, "Oh, nope, psych, your flight's leaving in 15 minutes."
Yeah, they
Right.
basically got a different plane, I guess, or whatever.
No. What happened was it was just like there was some
Mm,
weird tornado the day before or something in Jacksonville. It's
okay.
always in Florida, the armpit of America, that everything, so that's, I have a problem with Florida. I have every
Yeah,
bad story always starts with Florida man or Florida woman. When they say that, it's going downhill quickly. No disrespect, those who are from Florida, don't send me goddamn emails and show. Yeah, but
yeah.
like generally speaking. So here's the thing.
Think about that.
Go ahead.
I kind of wanted to pivot to politics.
Okay.
Yes, you
I
mentioned
would.
Florida. Yeah, because there was some new info, some new polls about Florida. I don't know what we were talking about it maybe last Tuesday or whatever.
Okay.
And I never really thought about it, but because of the way people retire to Florida, it literally is a magnet for conservatives. I never really thought of it that way, but they were just saying like the reason why Florida is lost to Democrats pretty much is the same reason why the rest of the country is lost to Republicans because all the conservatives flow to Florida.
But what's really interesting about
yeah,
I read the
yeah,
same article, but dumb nuts is losing votes among older Americans. They are the most reliable voting bloc, and he's
yeah. So
losing them constantly. Go ahead.
one of the ways that they do it is to just talk about the um, inequality in voter registration between Republicans and Democrats. And I think the reason that a lot of people will do that is because um, all things being equal, um, you could still lose even
If you win,
yeah, exactly, in a certain way, yeah, right,
yeah,
like
that's true.
because of the way that you gerrymander, the way that anyone in power is going to favor them in power, there are far more less obvious ways to have an incumbent advantage other than gerrymandering.
True.
Like people just don't take it into consideration. Like for one, I saw Biden doing this where like he's putting up those signs, you know, and writing checks to people. Like he's ramping up the incumbent strategy of just saying like, look what I'm doing for you. Here's my face.
Oh, that's funny. You know why I was late? Well, we're never late because the show says about midday. So, well, we're later than we wanted to get started.
Yeah.
I got a phone call and they were like, "Well, ta-da, Greg. Trump raised $50 million, like whatever day he had that thing." I was not actually, my love. He raised 50. Well, he did, but he raised 50 million from 10 people.
Oh, right.
Or 12 people. How many other billionaires were in the room? And so, but to flip it, he also is now getting fucking bad press because somebody recorded him, of course, saying, "Oh, hey, billionaires," you know, and America doesn't want to hear that. But to piggyback off of what you said, it's there's I can't say his name. I hate. So let me just back up real quick. I hate saying information, but I can't say people's names. But I can because I was. So now there is internal polling. The White House is very happy because because the thing they're figuring out is people lie to pollsters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and especially Republicans. So, the juxtaposition of what I just said is that Trump is not winning the plurality of his party. Like Old Man Joe for not is getting 94% of, you know, they're like, oh well, he doesn't have any challenges, neither does Trump. Right. But they're picking other candidates. And so, of course, the White House ecstatic about this because Trump is only coming in at 74, 73. Some states he has like who. So, the person I was talking to is with like it's the toddler situation. They're just gonna let him tucker himself out.
I don't understand that because they could have just taken his ass out with the fucking impeachment. Like they had all the fucking goods on him.
Well, no, I'm just talking about this person I was talking to.
Yeah, no, I get it. I do.
Yeah, they're just gonna let him.
You're right.
So now the Republicans were like, oh well, Joe is going to shoot himself in the foot with Israel. No, he's not, because he just changed his platform. You know what I mean? Because Joe is good at this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm going to tell you again, America, before we get into today's topic, if you were worried about Trump winning, he would have won last time. It's going to be that much more difficult for him to win this time. And he will be indicted. He will get
That's a good point.
In New York.
Regardless of whether or not he wins or not, he will be convicted of some of these crimes.
And so they have polls saying that once he is indicted, people are turning their backs now. I'm telling you. Like, oh, well, he won. And so the person that was on my phone was like, oh, you know, he raised 50 million, but he raised 50 million from like 13 people.
Yeah. That's not only that, like I think the trial in Georgia is probably the most damaging to him just because it's going to be televised or streamed.
That is bad. Yeah. That won't happen until after the election.
It's possible. Yeah. It depends on what gets in the way. So like the state of Georgia will be ready by midsummer. The question is, will he still be on trial in New York? He really can't try him in both places.
Just said no. This is going to be done in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Tops. And
the one in New York, you mean?
Yeah, actually, if you keep it score, we're about 2 weeks.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it starts on the 25th of April. Oh, no, tax day. The 15th, I'm sorry, like next week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in case you guys, so I sadly was not here to do the Black News. You know, I love the Black News. So tune in Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time while I cut a fucking fool and play the black news for you here on M3, this very, very network I love so dearly. So basically,
Mm,
the AG of New York, Tish James, that Mary J. Blige of law. You know, I love her. She's
yeah.
the Mary J. Blige of law. She coming there with her with boots on and long hair. Real law. Hey. I'm talking about real law. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Want to take a nigga to jail. Real law. So she, she come in there. And so they're rejecting his bond.
I
Why?
heard about that. Yeah. I
Yes.
heard they're investigating that. Well, you tell me. I don't know much about it.
Yeah. So let me tell you. So it's really interesting. Hey, coming blurred. Oh, he says he's scared of secret voters. They don't exist, baby. The only reason they affected us in 2016, I'm just gonna answer your question, is because Hillary was so unliked. They were that Democrats didn't vote. But the inverse will happen. Trump is so hated by the other side, they're gonna vote out of spite.
Yeah.
And then that's what it is. And so people realize, what he's done. We realize what
I think that at the end of the day, though, and this is something I think Republicans have been incredibly successful at, is actually, I feel like Trump won because there was a huge "I don't give a fuck" vote. It was like, I want to burn the whole thing down. I don't really care about any of it. I'm voting for him out of like a meme-ish type thing. Like,
Yeah, but then also the other thing was we had that black president.
yeah, there's that. But I'm saying that I think there's still a huge number of people who, like none of this is logical. Like none of it is. It's like the Joker vote. Like, you rob a bank.
There's some of that.
You rob a bank. You literally put all the money in a warehouse and you set the shit on fire. And it's like, because I don't give a fuck. Right.
So 5 to 8%, I get it, which is enough to swing an election.
I agree with you. Actually, that's all it is. It's not. It's certainly no more than 10. It's not any more than 10.
I don't even think it gets to double digits, but you are correct.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think the double digits is the ceiling. But even with 5 to 7% of these people, depending on how active they are, easily slings elections. 3%.
But you just took it from me because they're not active. So
I know. I'm just saying, like 3% is enough, though.
Yeah, but the thing was, he found some fucking racism. He found racism and he activated. He made racism a real thing.
Yeah. It's interesting, how he is able to activate racism in such an open way. And like, because I know like people have been trying to do that since the Reagan administration, with dog whistles and talking about like being tough on crime and war on drugs, as a proxy for race animus, that they were working on that shit 40 years ago, and somehow Trump just figured out how to say it out loud and not get as much of the negative consequences. Obviously, he gets a lot of negative consequences for saying it out loud, but not so much that he can't get elected. I mean, that's the sad part. But
true.
On that note, I don't think he's going to get elected. I just feel like the damage.
Do you really feel that way now?
I do feel that way. I just feel like it's kind of like when you're bearing down for a hurricane coming through, and you're like, I think my house is well maintained. Like I got all of the hurricane's still coming. Like it's still coming. I think we'll be okay.
So the person I was talking to today, they were like, "Oh well, he raised $50 million, but $30 million is going towards legal bills. So, by the time ready to."
My point is like he's still not going to concede. he
No,
can still come up with some weird elector scheme that's still legal. People talk about it all the time. Like, here are all of the loopholes that this man could possibly engage in to try to win or steal the election again.
Yeah. So the problem with that is it's more along the lines of once you do it once, I've seen it.
Right. That's true. Once you see,
if that makes sense. Like
I agree with that. People are going to be on guard.
Yeah. They're like, yo, I seen it, so
and they kind of believe it now too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yo, I'm not going for this shit. Right. And that's the whole whole deal.
Well, before we move on to your topic, I want to say one thing that does give me hope are strangely people like Brad Raffensperger, who's a piece of shit Republican. But he's a perfect example of a piece of shit
Republican who really believes in what they do.
They're just like, what the fuck? Like, they hadn't had the foresight enough to record the fucking phone call.
Well, because they realize that this state is not always it's not going to always be reliably read.
Right.
That's why our fucking governor walks around with kick.
I think what was so funny, I was thinking about the psychology of recording that phone call was specifically because he was going to say no, and he wanted some backup. Like,
he wanted some juice. Like, fuck this nigga, I'm gonna tell him no. Fuck you, nigga. Fuck you. I meant no. And it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful when that happens. It's wonderful when lifes and you can kind of get over yourself.
Yeah.
So speaking of the word no, how do you effectively disagree? Like, we disagree all the time.
Yeah.
But we've learned to, and so when I thought about this, because when people say relationships, it doesn't always have to be romantic relationships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be that. And I think, and anybody out there who's my friend, correct me if I'm wrong, like, we disagree effectively. Like, if that is truly your opinion, God bless, and now I could absolutely know I'm correct.
Yeah.
Because I love this quote from my mother. Love you, Ma Dukes. Rest in power. She would say, "Been here, can't beat, just got here." you know what she was trying to say.
That's kind of what I was talking about with that woman talking about wisdom, and it's weird when you see young people talking to older people online.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bitch, you just got here.
Yeah.
I don't care if I've never been on this app before. Bitch, these grays, you don't see this?
Same shit. Yeah, I just paid to have mine removed, so no biggie. Listen, I just want to tell you all, and that's great that you know what you know. And I do listen to younger people. I have a few friends that are younger than me. It's delusional. Thank you, but it's really weird. Like, and I tell the youngins, dude, you know how many times I've seen this?
Yeah.
Like, I know how this is going to end.
Right.
So it's like stepping through politics one more time. Just like, dude, when Joe Biden and the Democrats won in the midterms, and they only lost the House by a few seats.
Yeah.
I knew 24 was gone. If they picked,
that's reasonable.
Well, no, but my fear was they would have wised up and picked a better candidate, and Joe lost hands down.
No, I agree with both of those, but I'm just saying, like, that indication of the way they won or did not lose 22 the way that they predicted was a testament to the power of the Dobbs decision to move voters, and, like, in a way that I don't think anything has in my lifetime since, say, the Vietnam War. You know what I'm saying? So, which was not in my lifetime. Like, there really has not been anything in my lifetime that has moved voters more So, I mean, that was to me the results of 22. And you're right. I believe that should have been a warning light for Republicans to change directions or to do something, because the all the indicator lights were for an activation of young women, under 30, um, 30 to 35-year-old women, college educated, typically would vote Republican, but they were not. I don't know if you're talking.
That's the
about
other
that.
thing. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. Like, so we, of course, I did. So of course we have to I had to block somebody from the stream down there.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was a little off because I actually had to read the comment. Them like, people are so stupid. It's just like abortion. Why do old white men have to? We don't know how to disagree about that. I don't have a vagina. I have a child and some grandkids, but I don't have a vagina. I should not be able to tell a woman what to do.
So here's a perfect example of how a very small portion of the electorate has basically hijacked a major part of our national politics, right? So when you do the national polls on people who support Dobbs, who are opposed to Roe, you very rarely get above 30%, right? Less than half of Republicans are in favor of this. And yet, 24 states have bans? You know what I'm saying? Like almost half the states have bans. It affects almost every state in the country, because when that many states have bans, it creates that, effect where those people are going to the states that are available, which causes backups in those states, which ultimately, impinges on the rights of everyone. Because I remember one person put it this way: what difference does it make if it's a ban on abortion or just the fact that you couldn't get an abortion in time? Which difference does it make? Either way, you're bringing to term a pregnancy you did not plan on bringing to term.
I call it abortion vacations. Seriously, no, motherfuckers get, they got to go to other states and to get services. There are other reasons to have an abortion other than unwanted pregnancies, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
The health of the mother could be very affected.
Yeah.
So one of my next topics on the G Spot with your man Gregory the Thompson Drake yourself is infant mortality rates between Black mothers and everybody else.
Yeah.
We still have the highest rate of Black deaths in childbirth in this, definitely the civilized world, but we have third world rates.
Yeah.
And most of that is because the mother can't communicate with the doctor, because they don't believe Black people when they say we're in pain, and watching Abby Phillips today, wonderful series on this on CNN. She just had a baby, so Beyonce and Serena Williams, but saying they had trauma during childbirth.
Yeah,
like their heart rate dropped low, and they were septic and things of that nature.
Not only that, they've actually found that there are differences in race in terms of childbirth as well.
Yes.
So like if all your textbooks are written on European women, like you're just genuinely going to get some things off.
Big night. What's going on, brother? So and I was watching this thing, and I was trying to get ready to go out of the resort because it came on yesterday morning, and I was like, "Yikes!" And they tell how they do the sad story, the father opens the door holding the baby because the mother died, real heart jerking things. And real quick, I just like, we shouldn't have those kind of rates. We shouldn't have a miscommunication with you and your doctor.
Yeah.
But it happens. You know what I mean? It really sucks. But back to the word no.
Yes.
Back to communicating effectively. So you know how to trigger me. Let's just
okay.
I say it constantly. And so, and at first, like for years, I didn't get it. I'm like, oh, I would just disagree and be mad. Blah, blah. But now that I know for sure that he's trying to trigger me, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
But I mean, to what end, though? That's the thing. Of
Oh,
course, I
you know,
am.
long ways to do this.
For me, I'm triggering you. I mean, most literally, just to have a more interesting conversation. But
Well, yeah, but sometimes the in the sense of having an interesting conversation, it does not make. And here's the point. Well, maybe about the whole topic. It does not make my angst about it any less real.
Right.
So, how do you disagree effectively?
Okay, so that is a really good question.
Thank you.
I think first of all, I was thinking about it for a second as you were talking about it. I'm rewinding in my head.
Okay.
The thing that I often have to remember is that we as people identify with our emotions. I mean, we even say, I am angry, I am mad, I do this, I do that. Just like this is my hand and this is my mouth, this is my anger, and this is my whatever. It's ours, like we identify with it. If you have a thought or a belief, we identify with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone else says your belief is wrong, the level of identification with that belief is going to determine the level of insult that person feels when you attack their thought or belief. And so you have to remember, when you attack someone's beliefs and such, to them, it can be like, you are wrong, you are defective.
Right, you're not only it's like their sense and sensibility you're attacking. It's they could. Well, I grew up like that. That don't mean it's right. Your mama could have been wrong.
But that's the thing. When someone gets defensive and starts defending indefensible beliefs, remember, they're not necessarily defending those beliefs. They're defending themselves. They're defending their worldview. They're defending something bigger than just that belief. And so don't take it personally. Like, as the person who's attacking a dumb belief, don't take it personally when they get defensive.
Well,
like,
I remember one time we were arguing with an ex of mine, and like, if that's your point of view, fine. And I stopped talking. But and they just was like, that is so rude. That is so condescending. That is so this. Why? I'm letting you have this.
Yeah. That's a really good question. And let me say, like, I think to a certain degree, that's not obviously, clearly not what they wanted, right? They're arguing with you to stay in communication with you, and I think it's I guess like one of those aha moments where people forget the idea that the reason you're arguing with someone is not to hurt them. It is to solve a problem so that you can get back into connection with them.
Right, but we go into it cutting low.
Yeah.
Fuck your mama. Yeah.
That's the reason you can't avoid fighting. If you want to be in a relationship with someone, you can't avoid the fights because you're going to disagree about shit.
And they could be good.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to stay in relationship with someone, you're going to fight with them.
Yeah, and the fight could be good.
They can be good.
Yeah, it could lead to good sex, definitely.
I was going to say, we talked about this.
Yeah, you can do it real
Some
good.
sex is like a fight. Like, ever had that thing where someone said, you want to fuck like you owe me money? Like,
yes, we fucked for 10 years and it wasn't good. I mean, the sex was great, but it did not allow me to move on.
Oh, God, yeah.
I was, for that whole decade, no matter who I saw, I was still fucking them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can figure out what decade this was in my life. Don't be doing no skip tracing. And I just always made my way back to their bed. And it was always just wonderful and delicious and gooey. And like the older that we all got, both of us got, it got even better. And you know how when you just know somebody's body, you drive it like a Porsche. You know what I mean? It's just obviously one of those things, but thank God for wisdom and because then you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't need that. I don't,
Yeah.
I've
It
had
is,
that, so
it is interesting though, like those repeats or whatever, like flashbacks. We call it smashbacks.
Who said that? I'm going
That
to.
was from one of those skits on YouTube. It was like a Drake video.
Yeah, I mean,
And
technically,
somebody said, "Didn't you smash him?" I said, "Yeah, I'm having smashbacks."
that's what it is. So I think they could be troublesome.
uh,
I think that could be a problem. Like, because I literally every time I had a breakup, I went back to them.
yeah,
Sometimes they caused the breakup because I was like, I gotta go back
yeah.
and do this, And of course, and I was like, so around blah blah age, I was like, I gotta stop
You know, the funny thing is to me is I started to realize. I don't know if anyone said this to me or if it's just something that I've absorbed through osmosis. That the people who are in happy relationships are there because of just pure, I don't know, like luck, lottery winning, like their numbers matched their numbers and they went together. Because
doing this.
I remember
Yeah, puzzle.
somebody who was in that exact same position, right? Where they had the person who was their rebound person. It was just like, he called them like their pendulum, like they just kept coming back to each other, just swing back, swing back. But when he met his wife, and they normally would get into a fight or whatever, that pendulum didn't work anymore. And it wasn't because he's better. It was just because it was a better fit. It was a better fit. It was just like, oh right, yeah, like
And then I'll also tell people relationships are inherently about ebbs and flows.
yeah,
Like, you're together 5 or 6 years, you're not gonna fuck like you just met because you've been,
right,
and then your libido changes. Hopefully,
yeah.
the older you get. So there's a thing. So
Your imagination about that person changes. Like not only that, you not only know or not necessarily, there's not as much mystery about this person.
now I'm gonna tell you
Or
to invert the other thing with that is from a heterosexual standpoint. When you see a woman have a baby, you don't never want to go in that thing ever again. Like, I'm good. Like, girl, I can't do nothing for you but step over in it. I'm all right up in here. No.
I guess you just turn
Like,
the
bitch, you
lights
just had
out.
a human being. No, I'm good.
You know what's so funny though? When you say that, the psychological basis of the movie Alien was just that pregnancy and childbirth.
Really?
The whole thing
Really? Wow. Okay.
was, I mean, yeah, it's sort of a subliminal thing, a fear that almost everyone has. Like, I'm pretty sure every new father seeing their baby was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is that?"
They are ugly little fuckers. Let me tell you. They covered in shit. They purple.
It's in a sack. It's literally in a sack. You have to cut it out the sack.
And then you gotta beat the motherfucker so it'll cry. I mean, oh god, like no, I don't want any of this, bro. And then 6 or 8 weeks later, she want to get sexy. I'm like, no, girl,
Oh god, that's too
sexy is
funny.
over right now. You can't. So, think nice and check your email when you can, Malcolm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So absolutely. So and it's just one of those things that you just kind of move past it for the sake of relationship. But I like to think I'm an effective communicator.
Yeah.
Most days. Now, some days I don't want to hear the shit. And I'm just gonna keep it real. Like I'm like, fuck it. And then sometimes I can't let it go because I'm just like, I'm human. They're like, no, you ain't right. You ain't never gonna be right. Fuck your mama. Right. And then that's just what it is. So what do you do when you get to an impasse like that? Like the professionals say, you should go like away. But not black folks. We go on with it. Fuck your mama, fuck your dad.
Yeah, a good one. I think one of the reasons why, so sometimes people have such a problem with walking away is pride. I mean, it's a sense of not wanting to let someone get one over on you. And so I think
if somebody loves you, dude, is it that?
Yeah, it can be. Like you, especially if someone has already gotten many over on you, you start counting even more. And you're like, how many times is this bitch gonna win? Like I got to give up this now. Like really, like you start counting back all the other things you gave up. You're like shit.
Petty.
All of us do that. I'm just
I
saying.
have a friend who's been in a relationship for years, and they're like, and he was like, sometimes I'd just be like, I don't feel like doing nothing else, so like, fuck it. Not the lazy relationship. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So I mean, back to communicating.
Mm.
So like these people, they were like, you should like walk away and come back. And I'm thinking for me, I was like, if I walk away, I'm staying away.
Yeah.
Because I'm mad. You know what I mean? I'm just like, bro, y'all fucking suck. Get the fuck out of here. And I think most of these advice columns are written for white people by white people. What do you think? Do you think it's just one of those things that it's written on a bias? Because here at M3, what we typically try to do is we take things that were not for us and make it for us.
Yeah.
Malcolm, you're really good at that. You're really good at, let me take this one particular thing and make it. And when I heard this and when I read this article, because on the 5-hour flight, all you have to do is read. Good God. Oh, on the 5-hour flight, side note, I did watch Anatomy of a Fall.
How was that?
Oh, people were trying to be so complicated. Like, stop trying to be. Everything doesn't need to be like. It's one of those movies that ended. You still don't know what quite happened.
Oh, okay.
Like, what the fuck? But anyway,
yeah,
I'm
okay with that. You're right though. That's not really my thing anymore. But I understand that.
If I have to Google the premise, you didn't do a good job. Sorry, you just didn't.
I don't know. Like I honestly, I feel like there are some.
Watch a 2.5-hour movie, then Google the premise. You're watching the wrong movie. For sure.
I will tell you one that I did that for, and it was the thing is if you actually get something out of it, and that was with Tenet. I remember, like I was,
but that's
it was difficult for me to understand the dueling plot lines going back and forth through time, and I was just like, that's ridiculous. And eventually, someone had to lay it out for me, and when I did, I was like, that's fucking brilliant. Well, I looked at it, I was like,
talk to me.
That's amazing.
Tell me all about it when I wake up from my nap this afternoon. I fucking bought it and watched it 4 or 5 times.
Basically, he saved himself. That's all I'm saying. Like it was a snake eating its own tail. The person saved himself. So.
Okay, so I did get it right. Okay. Yeah. I'll just, a nigga had to watch Inception about 14 times.
But that's also like when with a perfect circle, where does it begin? Where does it end?
And then making another one of those
is now like a loop, like an endless loop. Yeah.
Well, that's true. And then now they're making one of those quiet movies again. I don't understand why. But this time, black people in this, I guess they're not gonna be quiet. It's gonna be bam! Stop knocking over shit. Stop it. But yeah, it's fantastic. Yet again, now I look at this shot, I'm really sleepy. I am tired. So let's talk about some shows on the network. Tomorrow is Tuesday.
Yes.
Yay, it's Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my friend. We have my friend Swag for Life. We got him from those TikTok streets. From hence he shall return. Swag for Life, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next. Who's next?
That would be me.
Oh! I knew it. I fucking knew it. It's you.
There we go. I gotta find all the pictures. There we go.
Yeah, but start looking now because I'm gonna do this quick. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday. On Wednesdays, Malcolm the Philosopher King Travels brings you all the hotness relationship topics. We're probably gonna finish this one when I'm not so sleepy. Absolutely, because I'm off today and I'm exhausted. Okay. So join him Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Cream Diggler. Professor Diggler will bring you his stylings and professional trees and pleasantries at 7 p.m. 8 p.m. Thursday night. 8 p.m. Thursday night. Please put on your best jammies, pull up a cup of tea, and sit in and watch. Who is this? Me. Oh my God. Oh my God, brother. Let me show people online. Keep that up there. Let me show you. So when you're doing one show and you have to advertise yourself, that's amazing. I don't know if that's is that narcissism? I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. It's okay.
Little narcissistic. Okay. Well, I missed you guys Saturday, so I'm excited. Saturdays at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, each and every Saturday. I bring you the good shit. Tune in. Now on Sundays, Devon, I'm not going to disrespect him, mispronunciation. Devon Branch in the building, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where he will bring you all the things in the Blurred universe. Is X-Men 97 done with?
It's not. It's on episode 5. I'm probably gonna have a clip from it on Wednesday. So be prepared to see some more nonsense of,
we like
the X-Men variety. But
we like to refer to it as foolishness.
Are you gonna be watching any of the Eclipse coverage coming up?
I'm scared I might be because Skinner might go blind. I don't know.
I don't think it's in our area, but
it's
like a diagonal path from like Texas to Maine.
Yeah. Some bitch gonna be like, I stabbed him because it was an eclipse. Man, that's gonna be somebody.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
we're stabbing bitches because this is what
the thing about the eclipse that I find interesting is it's a convergence between like the science geek nerds and the woo-woo spiritual people,
Yeah, that one time, yeah.
Yeah, in that one convergence. But because to me, it's like, it's obviously amazing. And it's also one of those things that gets me thinking. The thing that eclipses get me thinking about is the fact that it is a crazy coincidence that the moon is exactly the same size in the sky as the sun.
Because technically, sorry to cut you off. Technically, the sun is 400 million times bigger than the moon, but it's 400 million miles away.
Yeah.
So it's that convergence of the size versus the angle,
the distance, right? Exactly. Like I said, in the sky, from our point of view, they're exactly the same size, right?
I have a question that I've never asked you. Do you believe there are other beings out there?
Yes. The thing is, though,
if you do.
So the way that looks like to me is that you wouldn't necessarily be able to interact with them through space. Like getting in a rocket and leaving our atmosphere and flying to the edge of our galaxy and trying to. That doesn't make the most sense because it's just a lot of empty space. What we know about time and space is that it's all connected to a certain degree. So you'd have to, basically make a portal or some sort of like So
you think they're on some parallel universe?
Yeah, kind of like that parallel universe or just a different pocket of this universe. I don't know how you would exactly describe that. It's just the fact that time and space folds in on itself.
So you think another universe has another you, but he's bald?
The idea in mathematics. So the way that they do the particle physics, is that in order for there to be a probability wave, so like in order for a particle to both be a particle and a wave, is that the wave is a wave of possibilities. And in order for there to be possibilities anywhere, so anywhere a particle could exist, it does exist. That's the idea of a parallel universe.
Of what we have is the
like every particle of light exists in a particle wave or in a probability wave, which
so
is to say that
So you know what made me think of something with
Hmm.
it? Because where I went on vacation was like 2,000 miles away from here, and so I began to think about like, and as I got off the plane, like people are this far away from my from my life, and they live a different. They're human, but they walk around and stuff, but their lives are totally different. I get off the
Oh
plane.
yeah.
It was like 8 degrees when I left this motherfucker, but it's 85 over here.
How
You know,
about this? Have you ever heard of this a condition called aphantasia?
I love Fantasia. What's that song she sang?
Aphantasia. Fantasia just means dream, by the way. And
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay. I thought you meant like what's that song she got? Shit, baby.
No, aphantasia is when someone can't dream. Someone literally cannot visualize anything in their mind. Like they don't think in images.
Okay,
And
okay.
that's not that uncommon. It's maybe like 1 in 10 people.
That they don't dream at all.
They don't dream at all. They have no visual imagination at all. Like if you were to say apple, they will never see an apple in their face because they don't think in images.
Okay.
All I'm saying that to say is that there is a lot of variation in human cognition and personality and the way that we function. It's what makes humanity great because we are so different and yet we can still relate to one another. But there are people out there who are, like you were saying, they live in a completely different world than you.
Yeah, and I was, because I was like, these,
Because they're completely different. They create
Oh,
their world in their head. You know what I'm saying? Like, and their physical reality is probably completely different too. I'm just saying, like, your internal reality is completely different.
I always complain about Atlanta, like, oh, it's not like living in DC and New York. You can always go other places really quickly. But here, it's just Atlanta. So, and I thought about it in the subcontext of there's people on this island. They can go to other islands, but the fucking ferry was $100 round trip, which is a lot of cash. You know what I mean? Like, yo, doesn't that motherfucker? And it only lasts like 2 or 3 times a day. It was really inconvenient, really. So, you think about these people. Like I think about their day to day. I wouldn't want to live in paradise every day because that makes it less special.
Yeah.
And so the waitress said to me, "Well, Greg, we think you all live in paradise. You have everything, like we don't necessarily have DoorDash down this motherfucker. We don't have Uber, we think y'all motherfuckers living in Star Trek, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Generate
We are. I mean, we have fucking communicators now.
Yeah, and then she said to me, she was like, we have phones and apps and things, but like
We're way better than say Dick Tracy had in his
yeah.
life.
That's what she was saying. She was like, "Listen, I'm not going to tell you that your life is not fantastic because it is fantastic." But and I began to think of the juxtaposition. I'm like, "Damn!" And so I asked her, I said, "Well, how many people live on the island full time?" She was about like 80,000 people, and I was like, "That's kind of a lot." She was like, "Yeah," and then like 60,000 people live on St. Bart's. But the juxtaposition is St. Martin is like New York.
Mm-hmm.
St. Bart's would be Connecticut because they got all the money, things. But I realized like all the shit that we take for granted, like having a signal. Like we get mad as a bitch, we drop a call,
Yeah.
Fuck it, what the fuck? But no. And it's nothing for them. It's nothing. And she was like, I was like, well, what's the internet? She was like, we really don't need it because it sucks. I was like, okay.
You know what? On that note, let's go to Patreon real quick.
Yeah.
If you like this show, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified when we go live. We have 5 shows coming up this week, right?
Yes. Actually, we have 5 minutes before we hit an hour. Did you just want to go now?
Yeah. We can. I was just gonna say, yeah,
because I want to be in the bed in the next 15 minutes. I'm tired. I ain't falling to pieces over here. I'm telling you, I fall to pieces. So I was so excited to get back home because my Beyonce came on vinyl. I love
okay.
Crackling. That motherfucker is missing like 7 songs.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Hey Beyonce, I want my money back, bitch.
It wasn't just the like interludes or something?
No, bro. So it's like I read this stupid article. It's like, oh, you guys are lucky. That was their original format. No, bitch. I want all my songs.
I love it. Yeah.
Like, my bitch, you told me like this is what I'm listening to. This, and so like, because I love vinyl, so I'm just like,
yeah.
And I ordered a white one. It was on special. So with shipping, it was like $58. So I didn't pay for it. I called my niece. I was like, buy me the Beyonce vinyl. Right. Yo, you wait till your niece gets a little older. It's gonna be great. You'll be gonna call her. I'm in draws, right? This is gonna be it.
Oh god.
Hey, bring me some water, right? You know what I mean?
That's funny.
It's like great. You can make them do things. But it's like wonderful. So I was super excited. And the reason I'm tired because I didn't go right to bed last night because I stayed up and listened to my goddamn Beyonce record. I was super excited. Shout out to Golden Robinson who sent me who left me a Nirvana record. Because believe it or not, as huge fan as I am, I never had him on vinyl. So
yeah, that's interesting, man.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I opened up this record, right? The bitch, no liner notes, no put like the other album, like liner notes and fucking t-shirts and pussy packs and whatever else goes in them. So nothing is in this, just blank ass jackets. The white album, like just $58. US, not in Scudos or fucking euros, US dollars. 50.
Right.
So I called my niece this morning. I was like, niece, I'm very upset. She was like, oh my god. Oh my god, your record didn't come. I was like, no, it's missing like 7 songs. And all the ones on it. Right. So she was,
that is a lot of songs.
She's like, no fucking way. I was like, fucking way. And so then she was like, well, how do I send it back? I was like, I don't know. I guess they want you to keep the motherfucker and buy another one. Not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to put up with this? So then
the thing is, like most people, if it's shipped to you, like have no questions asked returns. Like that's part of the trade-off of online shopping is that they make the deal that you can return your shit.
I don't like to talk to Beyonce's people, but like there's no call customer service button. Beyonce fucked up. No. Right. I'm like, where in the bitch can I get my money back? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be kind of mad if it was missing.
Yeah, so now it's got to go put it on the wall back there and let it stay because I can't. Every time I listen to it, it's going to get me fucking pissy. It's like, this is crazy. But like,
yeah, that's not good. That's a reason why they should replace it. Yeah.
Right, and so I read. So I'm up half the night after I get in from this extremely long flight, and I'm like, what are they gonna do? And like, she didn't say anything. She was like, oh. Wow. So basically I found out that what happened was that was the original version they sent to the printer and blah blah. I'm like, well,
they were keeping things secret basically.
No, that's the original because like the songs that we have on the digital copy, like all the songs, one of those things that was the afterthought. Like so it was like, oh, I don't like this version. I'm going to put 38 more songs on here, but send this to the goddamn people, right? And I tried to be like patient, and I waited till after the album was like,
yeah, that's
nothing.
That's a problem with production if you're not speaking to each other properly.
Yeah. Great. Beyonce, oh my goddamn money. Join us on Patreon. on, so I can how bad I'm gonna cuss out Beyonce. Thank
I don't think I ever thought I would hear that. So
no, I'm really pissed, bro. Like I am just kind of beside myself. Like she's already a gajillionaire. Does she need to keep my money too? Like yikes.
I can't believe we're ending the show on a Beyonce rant.
Yeah, it's okay. You like this, don't you? Okay.
And
like the material. Yeah. The material was so good. Like, oh, it's really good.
I was gonna say, like, one of the things I like about the album is how clean it is. If that makes sense, like, there's not a lot of extra, you know. It's kind of minimalist,
it's delicious. It's
it is. It's just very clean,
right? And it doesn't have. So the abridged versions I've been known to call the album now. The abridged version is not as sexy. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's not, because like, I know those songs that I like are not on there. So
right.
It's like, what the fuck, bitch? I'm like, I want this bitch to give me my money and shit. That's all I want. Like, I'm not playing. I apologize. I am so fucking tired.
It's all good, man. I mean, I'm surprised that you're here. I didn't expect you to be
like do my job. Yeah, like is he gonna show the work? I don't know.
That is who's that? Woody Allen? Who's that? 80% of success is just showing up. Like,
I think so. No, because honestly, dude, before I started, I wasn't as tired. Like I was like, oh, I can do this. It's like somewhere around the 30-minute mark, I was like, oh. Then I thought about like when you're away from home, you don't sleep well.
Yeah, that's true. I don't either.
But the shower,
there's different levels to it too. It's like people who have anxiety about sleeping in other beds, like other rooms, like strange sounds keep you up at night.
Yeah,
that does that for me. I'm just saying, like weird patterns. You get used to the patterns of sounds and wherever you sleep, and if it's different, it can wake you up in the night.
Oh, for sure. Like I'm just like, oh. But my therapist is a masseuse therapist as well. Yeah. I'm gonna make him stretch me out when he gets here and fucking give me a massage. He's gonna be like, "You fuck face, I quit." Like, I don't care. I don't even care. All right, well, toodles. I am going because there's nobody watching.
Yeah. Let's just end it.